What's going on YouTube? That is the Middle School Math Man. This video is going to be on perfect squares and difference of squares. So this is just a type of factoring, and basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for things like perfect squares, we're going to be looking for patterns, things like that. So the top part is just a review. So if you remember, if we FOIL this, let's see what we get. 25x squared plus 10x minus 10x minus 4. I got that by FOILing. So as you can see, these middle terms are going to cancel. So your answer would be 25x squared minus 4. If we look at the second one, same thing. If we FOIL, we're going to get 4a squared minus 6ab plus 6ab, and then we have minus 9b squared. So those middle terms, again, are going to cancel. The resulting answer from the questions above is called a difference of squares. So if we look at those two problems, you should be able to notice that first of all, we have opposite signs. We have minus and then we had plus. So we have opposite signs, minus 2 plus 2. In the second problem, we have plus 3b minus 3b. So in order for that middle term to cancel, we need to have opposite signs. So as you can tell from above, that's a squared minus b squared. So if we just look at a couple of these problems, if we have number 1, n squared minus 64. Okay, first of all, n squared tells us we're going to have an n in the first part of our binomial. And then we have minus 64. So 64 is 8 times 8. The square root of 64, perfect square, it's 8 times 8. So in order to get negative 64, we have to have minus 8 plus 8. That's the only way to multiply to negative 64. Again, if we wanted to double check, FOIL. So we're going to get n squared plus 8n minus 8n plus, minus 64. So those would cancel, and we would get n squared minus 64, which is what we started with. Let's move to number 3. So we have 9. So again, 9 is 3 times 3. So that tells us the first number in our binomial is going to be 3b. Now we have minus 49. So 49 is 7 times 7. And it's minus, so we're going to have minus 7 plus 7. Again, if you want to double check, FOIL it. Let's move to number 4. So the first thing that you should be doing when you're factoring is you should be looking for GCF. The GCF in this problem, you're probably saying to yourself, it's 9, but there's also an x. We can also have a GCF with variables. So when I do that, now I need to rewrite it. So when I take a 9x out of those things, I have 4x squared minus 1. Now my focus is inside the parentheses. So 4x, that means we're going to have 2x and 2x. And then minus 1, we're going to have minus 1 plus 1. Opposite signs. Let's look at number 2. For number 2, I want you to think about what looks different than the other 3 problems we did. There's one key difference. And you might have noticed that it is h squared plus 25 instead of minus 25. So something might be fishy here. So when we do this problem, the only way to get to plus 25 is if we either have plus 5, or we could have minus 5, minus 5. Those are the 2 ways to multiply to 25. Either way, what's going to happen is when we FOIL, we're going to be able to tell h squared plus 5h plus 5h plus 25. So that would give us h squared plus 10h plus 25. If we had minus 5, it would be h squared minus 10h plus 25. Either way, that middle term did not cancel. So because we have plus 25 there, not minus, that means we can't have opposite signs, and the only way for those things to cancel is to have opposite signs. So this example is prime. So just a quick review. We are looking for perfect squares. We're looking for patterns. The only way that this works, this difference of squares method, the only way that works is if we have a minus sign. As you saw in number 2, it was plus, so we couldn't have opposite signs. Those middle terms couldn't cancel. So we're looking for that minus sign, and then we're looking for perfect squares or GCFs that we could pull out.